It's so funny. I've been listening to NPR
really?
like nonstop these last few
Preparing.
days. No, just because like I miss listening to it, and I've been having the car to myself lately, and so I've just been listening. And they're doing their fund right now, their
Oh,
telethon.
yes.
So I'm like listening to Fresh Air, and I'm like, I want to do this.
And then look at what the
I
Lord has provided
know,
for
I
you.
know.
I love that. Okay, here we go. Hello. I'm really glad you're here. I'm Amy, and this is Amy's Wild Cards. This is the podcast where I interview people who I think are my friends with a deck of cards filled with random questions I have created. At the beginning of each interview, the deck will be shuffled, and whatever questions come up in whatever order is completely up to fate. We're going to laugh, maybe cry, possibly be offended. Let's get into it. Okay. Hi, Rogelio.
Hello.
Rogelio's here today.
I am here.
I'm literally just realizing that my last friend who was here, I don't think I was like, this is Caitlin or hi, Caitlin.
They're just a mystery person. So if you watch that episode and you're like, who is that person? Whoever you want them to be, they are universal.
Oh,
That's what it represents.
I'm new
they
here.
are the universe.
Oh no. I literally am like,
This will be the final Amy show. No! I will come in as co-host.
Oh, just a takeover.
Just a
takeover.
Oh Lord, that's the last thing we need. Another man with a podcast.
I know, right? Thank you. At least you're not Caucasian, so that helps.
That part. I am Hispanic. I'm Mexican, Puerto Rican. I know I look very...
I know I have light eyes.
Right.
But...
And green eyes on top of that. People are like...
Girl.
What?
But your name's Rogelio, so that helps.
I know. And I always wear a necklace that
good.
identifies me. Because I need people to know.
They gotta know.
I need them to know.
I know people get really confused about my ethnicity. That's probably why I talk about being Persian so much. Because... yeah, people are like, oh, I thought you were Latina. And I'm like, that's fine, but it's just also incorrect.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, but
I see it now.
Then when you tell people, they're like, oh,
yes,
right,
yes.
right.
Also, Persian New Year.
Yeah, it just happened. Oh, thank you for knowing. Sassy
this,
about it, too.
This is what we call a Renaissance man. Just kidding.
I love that, like, we haven't even gotten into the questions yet.
Questions? What questions?
Oh, questions where? Where are they? We don't need them. Not with all this personality.
James Lipton is rolling over in his grave as we speak.
So, I'm going to turn this away. So, I've been shuffling this whole time.
Right.
I do, like, a cleansing shuffle in between. I think I told you that. So, it's, like, erases the person before, ushers in the new... Rogelio, and then I've been shuffling now. I'm going to give you an option. You can either tell me when to stop shuffling, or I choose.
You choose.
Oh, really? We're going to let go of control right now. I didn't see that for you.
I have been working on that. God has really been dealing with me on that. That was my thing.
Yeah.
And so this has been a season where I've just surrendered.
Okay, let me see. God, where do you want me to stop? Oh, I feel... One more. Yeah, one more. Okay. We're here. This is it. Oh, great. This is an interesting one to start with. Are you a good dad?
I will be.
Oh, you want to be a dad?
I will be. I know I will
Certain.
be. No, well, I have had quite a privileged upbringing. And whatever faults my parents may have, what I can say is that they were fantastic at parenting us as children.
Wow.
And
that's great.
I think because of their trauma,
they were the ones who were like, we're gonna break it together.
Yeah, and they did the very best that they can. And honestly, who I am today is because of their parenting. So, I know I have a great example.
That's great.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is not mess it up.
Not mess it up.
Yeah, well, that's not bad. Wonderful. So you want to have kids?
Yes, I do. Yes, I definitely do. So.
Wow.
Because I'm Rogelio the third. So
we have to keep the lineage going.
The fourth, like, and because also maybe because I feel like I don't see that a lot. Like we always have, legacy names for non-folks of color.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. The caucasity of it all. Right.
And so I'm just like, that's something cool, to pass on. But also if it doesn't happen, I'm not like, I got.
And then I don't know how you plan on having children, but if it is, you know, if you do end up having all girls, are you still going to do a Rogelio the fourth, please?
Why not?
Yeah, I agree.
Like what? Like
Yeah.
at this point,
I was going to have, with my ex-fiance, we were going to have, because he was going to be, he wanted a David the third. And I was like, because he was a junior. And I was like, okay, well, I want Amy Jr.
period. Like
That's my brand of feminism.
Lucille Ball named her daughter Lucy.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Good. Why did you say yes to being on this podcast?
I've never been on a podcast and I wanted to. And like I was telling you earlier, I really love talk radio. I love
Yeah.
NPR. I
Yeah,
love
me too.
So I've always wanted to do something like that.
I'm so glad. I could give that to you.
Look, you know, it's not very often someone can give me something I've never had. So listen, pat yourself on the back.
I will. Thank you. Okay. I don't know what you'll say to this, but we'll see. Savory gum. Are you interested?
What is it? Is it like flavored gum? Mm-hmm. Oh. Well, my only experience with flavored gum is like, remember those zebra stripes?
Yeah.
And so it's disappointing because like it starts off really great.
Yeah, it
and
loses
then
its flavor
completely.
The zebra gum specifically had that
So
problem.
that's why I was like, well, it's fraud is what it is.
We should sue.
I was really
Class
invested.
action.
I was really, and the thing was, I kept coming back.
Right.
You know,
That's addiction.
what what does that say about me? Let's sit and unpack this. What does that say about me? I kept coming back to the thing that disappointed me.
The first hit's good enough.
And then,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like a mashed potatoes and steak.
Oh
or like
Lord,
a
no!
salsa
What is
flavored gum?
No, because it's
you
like those
know?
jelly beans. Like when people
Oh,
have
like
those
the
flavored jelly
popcorn
beans,
ones aren't
I'm just
bad.
like, that's
We're not into it.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Who had too much time on their hands?
Yeah.
And we should invest this into something.
Better than
Yes.
savory gum.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know how you feel about that. Got it.
I don't have strong opinions. I promise.
I really wanted to like make it happen.
Oh,
I have a feeling.
Well,
I was actually really
pursue
on board.
your dream.
This is it. I'm doing it. I feel like someone probably has already invented savory gum and like gotten it on the market and it just didn't do well. So I'm gonna research it.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine it would have done well. 'Cause why? The whole purpose of the gum is as a palate cleanser in a way.
But you know, a lot of people use gum like when they're dieting and they're trying not to eat, and they'll be like, "Oh, let me use a piece of gum." And so, like, but what if the gum was like a whole delicious meal?
No, that's so
Disgusting.
silly. That's so silly. That's so silly. You know, I also, when I have gum to make it last longer, cut
I
it
do
in half.
pieces.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I used to perform in musical theater, I always performed all my lines and songs with gum.
A little tucked.
Yeah,
I love it.
because I was so the energy, right, of being on stage was so overwhelming in a good way,
Yeah.
and I needed a way to just kind of bite down or something,
Yeah.
you know, to
Yeah.
feel the tension of it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, so it was this weird thing that I had.
I
It
love
was
that you're
always-
belting with gum in your mouth.
always.
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
There's
So,
probably some other people doing that too. Or you're the only one.
I keep hitting this up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm glad you get this question. I think I know what you're going to say. Have you ever thought about watching your own funeral? So you
Oh.
I'm not done yet.
Oh. By all means, continue.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, who's running the show? So you could hear all of the nice things people will say about you while you are still living and can enjoy it.
So,
Yeah.
I love funerals so much.
I like them more than weddings.
Hands down.
Yeah.
So my dad's a pastor, right? So growing up, he had to do a lot of weddings and a lot of funerals. I would say once, twice a month, it was one or the other.
That's a
my
lot.
my entire
Yeah.
life. And so I not loathed, that's a strong word, I'm dramatic. But I really did not want to go to the weddings.
I didn't either.
But I loved attending these funerals because I truly enjoy learning a person's legacy. I really do. And you can tell a lot about a person
Yes.
and the life that they lived, right?
Yeah.
And this was before I really had a concept of legacy. And but I was always really drawn to the type of life people lived. And I think it's because I just love observing people. I love getting to know the facets of humanity and the complexities of it.
Yeah.
So funerals were just a great way to see how a life was lived. And especially because life is really a vapor. When you think about in the essence of time, you only get, if you're lucky, 70 plus
Yeah.
years, 70 something years. If you're really lucky, 100.
I don't know about luck because sometimes I'm like going through life with this mental health I got. And I mean, today is a good day, but I'm like, there's times when I'm like, oh, life is too long. Like, I don't, how much longer do I have to do this?
And it's so interesting because I would love to be like 100.
Yeah.
I would
I bet.
love to, I would love to be like
Yeah.
on the Kennedy Center honors, like just be in the balcony at 100 and
Yeah.
they're like, congratulations.
You might be.
you know,
Yeah.
but I have always like thought of like, how would I run my funeral? How would I like, I part of me really wants to do something like that.
Yeah.
Where I have it all prepared and I would be like, let me hear your speeches.
Oh, you want a dress rehearsal while
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah,
alive.
yeah.
And then, okay, I have a few questions. And oh, yeah, no, you were the right person to ask this too. That's for sure. So, would you, okay, I've thought about doing this one. I don't think I will because it's too psychotic. But, like, have you ever thought about, like, faking your own death so you could watch the funeral and then you show up and you're like, surprise! Yeah! So, but you do get to hear it all?
That no.
Okay. It's too
I
far,
have
too
to
far?
listen.
Yeah.
It's not too far.
Oh, oh.
I wouldn't put it past myself to contemplate something like that.
Sure.
You'd have put the idea in my head now, so
Yeah.
who knows.
Yeah.
But well, also because I'm also very frugal, so I think about cost. I'm like, and then if I faked it, and
They
then
might not spend the money for the real one.
exactly, or who's
Or
gonna
believe.
or they're gonna be like, now you owe us,
Oh.
and I'm like, oh, that's true.
Yeah, to make an amends, a financial amends. That's a good point. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to do it anymore.
Just financially,
Yeah,
it's just not financially.
I didn't think about that.
Not even but financially.
I was
That's
in
where
the
we draw the
whimsy.
line.
I was really in the whimsy of it all. But that makes it real
Yeah.
and not as fun.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right.
I'm saying.
Okay. No one's gotten this question yet. And this is also part of the beauty of the cards. Have you ever weaponized your boobs?
I can't say. I mean, I would post them on
Oh,
like
the
social
pecs.
media. Yeah, but I can't say that.
But like to like thirst trap a little?
Always.
Yeah, that's,
So
I think that counts.
I had a period of time.
Always thirst trapping.
No, yeah, I had a period of time where I was really I was really seeking validation.
Yeah. I understand.
Listen, I
Yeah.
was like one Instagram story away from starting an OnlyFans pretty much. It was giving that.
Yeah, I understand
And
completely.
no, but yeah, I would. But also I just enjoy the aspects of the human body, and I enjoy my human body.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, and I remember I had posted, because I used to have long hair, right?
Oh.
Beautiful, like,
Oh, I want to see this.
oh, feathered, and I
The
have,
feathered.
I like Halloween. I was Moses from the Prince of Egypt one year with my, and I was so in shape, like the abs were abbing, and I was just like, come on. And
Of
but
course you were a biblical character for Halloween.
naturally, naturellement. But
Oh my god.
but I had gotten my haircut, and so I had, after over a year of this long hair, I had gotten this new style, and so I just posted a picture, and I didn't have a shirt on, and I was working at a church at that time, a mega
Oh.
church, and I was told that I wasn't allowed to do stuff like that because it could cause people to stumble. I said, but I was like, all right, well, I respect the rules of the house, even if I don't agree with them, because
Yeah.
I chose to work at this house,
Yeah.
so.
I've had some similar things in like Christian spaces where
Yeah.
it can be tough.
It gets into this line of legalism and whatnot, and so.
Yeah, I could spend more time on that, but I don't want to. We have limited time, and I want to get into more of these questions. Oh, Rogelio, I want to know this one. What is something that always brings you joy?
Oh, I know it's cliche, and I know it's probably silly, but I really like my relationship with God. Like it has gotten me through some really, really dark and broken moments. And it brings me a joy that is persistent. And it doesn't mean I always manifest it physically. I could still be in a broken space, but that joy is lingering. I know it's there. And it gives me something to look forward to. There's joy that comes from this pain. There's joy that will be on the other side. So knowing that I have a relationship with Christ is what brings me joy. And it's like,
That's great. I love that. How many times have you almost died?
I mean, it's not funny. I don't know why I laughed. But are we talking about like accidentally? Because I've never like, oh my gosh, I almost died. But if we're talking about like, there was a season in our life where we were like, I think we're done
We were
here.
up to some risky stuff.
I think we're checked out.
I'm going to let you answer how you want to answer because I think there are different ways to answer this.
Yeah, no. Out of like accidental, unforeseen things, I don't think I've ever almost died. But I'm sure there were moments because if you know my story, there was a period of time from 18 to like 26, 27 where I was just involved in some very dangerous things. So there was times where I'm sure if it weren't for the mercy of God over my life, but also during those seasons, there was a very broken time in my life where I was like, I'm checked out, God. You can take me now. And if you don't, I'll take myself out. So, yeah.
Did you, you don't have to answer this, of course. You don't have to answer anything.
I'll
But
answering.
did you have like attempts? Did you make any attempts?
So short of actually going through with it, there was times for me it would be in the car and I'd be like, let me just drive over this.
Yes.
Let me just drive over. And I contemplate, like would start moving the car over just slightly. I would start doing it. And then all I kept thinking about was, because I didn't know at that time if my salvation was going to send me to heaven or hell.
Yes. And then I don't know if you grew up on this too, but that salvation piece of if you do kill yourself, that you don't go to heaven. Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah. No. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was during that time where I really started questioning the legalism of the doctrine that I was under. Because mind you, my dad's also a theologian. He went to seminary, and not just he didn't go to conservative seminary. He went to very liberal seminaries purposely.
I guess I never even realized there are liberal seminaries. Well, that's very exciting.
So a lot of the seminaries that are more conservative only are recent seminaries because they split from what the academic side of theology was presenting. Because if you study the academic side of theology, if you're not secure in your faith, it could rattle you because it brings up some tough questions. Yeah. Conservative sided minds didn't want those questions being asked necessarily, so they kind of branched off into their own forms
weaker
of seminaries.
Faith. I'm sorry, it just does. Like if
absolutely,
if you can't ask the hard questions and have the hard experiences, like how are you gonna?
We limit God too much. That He is not bigger than our questions.
Right.
And I think
exactly. You think God can't handle the doubt. Right.
And so, and everyone has to get to that point on their own. We can talk ad nauseum like, no, it's okay. But I think people really have to understand it. One of the things that I've realized, especially, I know we're kind of going on a tangent real quick, but I've realized that it has to be a personal experience.
Yes.
It has to be personal, because we have seen what for centuries the church has mandated. It has to look like this. And look at the situation we're in now. Look at where faith is now, where religion is now, because of these mandates. And we have focused more on the regulations and the rules and less on how do we cultivate the transformation within you via your relationship with Christ, your personal relationship with Christ.
Yeah. And I think living in that space is vulnerable.
It's scary because
Yeah.
it's that dialogue that you have to have with Christ, and you have to sit with him and be exposed.
Yeah. And so the legalism and strict, harsh, rules around religion give a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. Ugh. I think I know the answer to this from what you've said. Are your parents proud of you?
I like to think they are.
I bet you do.
And even if I said no, that would be a lie, because there's not a day that does not go by where I don't get a text or a call. Especially my dad. He just sent me a text a couple days ago saying, "I love and respect you so much," and I'm just like, "That's so sweet." Like, and it's very rare. I mean, my dad's from Oakland, from the
Oh,
streets of Oakland.
really? Okay.
Is Puerto Rican, Mexican. You know, his life was full of gang violence and whatnot. All so everything that you think of when you think of the inner streets of Oakland in the 60s and 70s. I always say, well, the man may have gotten out of Oakland. Oakland never got out of my dad. So to see him kind of in these moments of vulnerability, of softness, those are moments of joy too.
Yeah.
Those also bring me joy,
Yeah.
because I see him actively breaking generational curses that he did not receive.
Yeah,
He
that's
didn't
cool.
receive love. He was homeless at 16 for trying to pursue God. He had to do everything on his own. He never dealt with his trauma. It's only been within the last 3 years that we as a family have now been going to therapy. And for my mom and my dad, it's the first time ever doing therapy.
Wow.
So to have these moments where he's actively going above and beyond what he was taught, those are beautiful moments. And I know he's proud of me. And then my mom, I mean, she's the quintessential smothering, like, I love you. You are my baby. You're my child. And
Yeah.
so that's my mom. I love my mom.
Do you think your parents will watch this?
Oh yeah, they are like my biggest fans. Are you kidding me? My delusion is because of them. Like,
I can see that.
Like,
Yeah.
there was not. I don't know if you've ever seen Bob's Burgers,
Of course.
but Linda is exactly like my mom.
Stop.
Like that. That's how. And just that
That's hilarious.
that family unit. Family was
Yeah.
so important, and it
Yeah.
still is. It still is. Even with my parents separated now, it's still so important. Yeah.
That's awesome. How many siblings do you have?
Just my younger sister. She's 5 years younger.
Oh,
Yeah. She's a
younger.
therapist.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
She's finishing her doctorate, PhD, whatever.
okay. Okay, love that. Love that. Okay, so we have one last question from the shuffle deck.
Okay.
And then there's a final question that I give
Okay,
everyone.
okay.
Okay, here we go. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No. But I'm pretty sure I've seen an angel.
Tell me.
So I have this part that I came back to my faith in God in 2017. And I was living in Pasadena at that time, and I was driving around just weeping, right? I was in a very broken place, and I was like, and I was just driving, talking to God, trying to figure my life out, trying to reconcile my faith, my queerness, all of that. And as I was driving into Altadena, I see this like beautiful park. And so I get up and I just feel led to go, and it's late at night, to that park area. It's this beautiful park. There's like this stone brick fire pit. And then further off, these beautiful trees. And so at the stone fire pit, I just kind of sit there and I just begin weeping before God and just going over everything. And I just felt God say, "This is your altar. Come here." So for 7 years, I would go. I was going there. And in 2023, I was pastoring a church, an affirming queer church. And if you pastor, that's already a tough job. But then pastoring a queer church, you're asking to to just invite animosity, invite attacks, invite. So I was just like, I was there at my altar that I've been going to year after year. And I was just like talking to God about everything in my head, just in my head, headphones on. And I see this homeless man come out. And he has like fish that he's about to cook over the stone. And mind you, it's like late at night. No one else is there.
Yeah.
And as I as I see him, he like waves at me. So I take my headphones off. And he begins having a conversation with me. And he begins going over every single thing that I was just talking to God about.
Stop.
As he's talking, I kind of tune out because I tell God in my head as this man is talking to me, I said, I know your word says we may entertain angels.
Yeah.
Is this one of them? And as soon as I asked that question, the guy looks at me, he's like, and you know, I don't know what he was saying in between them because I was now having and he turns to me and he says, you probably think you're talking to an angel right now, don't you?
Oh my gosh.
I said, huh? He just continues talking. That altar has been a place where I would go, bring things before God. The next day, I would have answers to these specific things. I would go pleading for a miracle, but also saying, but whatever you choose, Lord, whatever your will is, I will obey. The next day, that place has been a powerful place for me for 7 years. At the beginning of this year, we were in our week-long fast at our church to start the year. And I was reading the New Testament and it was referencing, this is also found in, Exodus or whatever. I was like, oh, let me look it up online what that is. And it's Exodus 34 where God tells Moses, hey, I'm about to make a new covenant because of the tablets. Read Exodus 34. I promise you, you'll like the entire Bible.
The whole thing's
great. Highly recommend.
Okay, and just like on a tech note, we have like literally 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah, real quick. And so when I read it, I was like, I feel like God is saying he wants me to go to my altar to establish a new covenant with him. And I start talking to God and praying, and he's like, where's your altar at? I was like, it's in Altadena. He said, is it still there? Because mind you, this was the week of the fires.
I was going to say.
And he had made a promise to me when I first gave my life back to him 7 years ago that I was going to go through it. And I write everything down in my notes. I was going to go through a testing period of 7 years. He said, that altar is gone because of the fires. You no longer need it. I am with you wherever you have come back home to me. So wherever you are, I'm dwelling with you.
Dang. Okay, we have 30 seconds.
Yes.
Literally, the camera shuts off on its own. I don't have control over it. Final question. If this is the only surviving audio clip left of you in existence, what do you want people to know?
God is amazing. Give him a try. He will love you where you are.
Amazing. Thank you. We did it in
We
time.
did it.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
So good. Such rich conversation.
I loved it.
Love
Thank
it.
you.